What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the chronically charismatic Dr. Disaster, and a question was just raised on social media that really gets the old noggin jogging. Why is it that only Asian studios in the gaming industry are expanding, while Western studios are struggling? And of course, the answer to this rhetorical question is because when gamers see most Western games these days, their gut reaction is simply,
"You look like a bag of shit."
It has been announced that there is going to be a Stellar Blade sequel, and the 3D scanning setup for this game is now massively upgraded. If you don't recall, this is the apparatus that Shift Up used to scan the supermodel that Eve was modeled after. And anyhow, in response to this news, Grums on X wrote, "Why are only Asian studios expanding? No layoffs, founders become hugely wealthy, meanwhile, the West struggles. Even with bigger budgets and teams, we know the answer, but you are not allowed to talk about it in the West. Stop pandering, stop uglifying, stop politics, stop DEI bloated hiring, and give gamers what they want."
Brilliant! That was bloody brilliant.
Yeah, it's not exactly rocket science, is it? But in this post, Grums refers to some more recent news. He posted this here. It looks like the studio People Can Fly is laying folks off and shutting down projects, and it's no wonder. Look at that image there of their game Outriders. Nobody wants to play as that shit, and gamers are completely fed up with it.
Before my time is done, I will look down on your corpse and smile.
But, as Grums pointed out, Asian studios like Shift Up aren't having that sort of problem. They aren't having to lay people off, they are expanding. And the demo for Stellar Blade on the PC is out now, and this brief demo has topped out this weekend on Steam with over 26,000 concurrent players. That game is going to sell like crazy, despite the problems that we have been hearing about the game in the past few weeks. Oh, and also, on that note, it sounds like one of the major problems surrounding the PC release of Stellar Blade has been resolved. The region lock for the game, which prevented it from being playable in over 100 countries, appears to have been largely removed, which will certainly help Stellar Blade sell like crazy even more, propelling it to damn near the top of the Steam charts already, a few weeks away from release.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on X, where I keep a list of games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. My handle over there is Dr. Disaster 1. Also, I've started uploading some content onto Rumble as well, so make sure that you follow Dr. Disaster on that platform too. But let's look at the contrast between the Western studios and the Eastern studios to start this analysis off. First of all, I want to take a look at this news here that People Can Fly is canceling some games. We just keep on hearing that these studios are doing this in the West. You may recall that EA canceled that Black Panther game the other day as an example and killed the studio that was working on it. But anyhow, this article here is from Video Games Chronicle. It says here, Project Gemini, an unannounced game which was set to be published by Square Enix, along with a separate unannounced VR game referred to as Project Bifrost, have both been cancelled. People Can Fly reportedly laid off over 30 developers working on the unannounced Square Enix game last January. And now, depending on which source you believe as to their total number of employees, that number of people laid off at People Can Fly likely ends up being somewhere between 5 and 10% of their total workforce. That must really sting. The suspension of the Gemini project is a consequence of the fact that the publisher has not presented us with a draft of the subsequent content rider to the publishing agreement covering the terms and conditions of further milestones on Project Gemini, and the lack of communication from the publisher as to its willingness to continue or terminate the Gemini project, said the CEO. Project Bifrost was suspended due to the above and the analysis of the group's cash flow, which showed a lack of prospects for securing organizational resources and funds necessary to continue the production and release of the project. Translation: no publisher wants to work with People Can Fly on their games. These are dead projects, and considering the state of the industry in the past few years, I would speculate that these games were probably live service slop, featuring characters that gamers don't want to play as, but who knows. Meanwhile, in the East, things are going fairly swimmingly, all things considered. Stellar Blade has reportedly had the region lock on their game eliminated on PC, which is damn good news. We have talked about how Sony, as the publisher, was likely the culprit, the main culprit anyhow, behind the region lock, since the countries who couldn't play the game largely coincided with a list of countries where PlayStation Network accounts are banned. Sony has been on a bit of a self-sabotaging spree, but Shift Up, and this is why they have become so popular so quickly, but Shift Up listened to the fans and pleaded to have this eliminated, this region lock. You may recall this post on X from the official Stellar Blade account a few weeks back, where it said, "We are closely discussing the region lock issue with the publisher and are doing our best to resolve most of it as soon as possible." Well, it appears to have worked, and the sales for Stellar Blade have shot up. We are damn near 2 weeks away from release, and as of the time of this recording, the game is sitting at the number 3 spot on the Steam top sellers list. Of course, they could be at the top spot right about now if they would do something about the Denuvo in the game. Well, maybe not the top spot, since Elden Ring Night Rain just dropped, and that game is absolutely crushing it, but Stellar Blade could be sitting at number 2 right now, I'd be willing to bet, if they removed the Denuvo. There are a ton of people out there who refuse to buy this game on PC, and I completely agree and understand, mind you, but they won't touch it because Denuvo is included. And to be clear, I don't think that Shift Up and Sony will do anything about Denuvo. Even the demo has frickin' Denuvo, and the language they have been using on social media indicates that Denuvo is here to stay. Shift Up has talked about how well the game runs with Denuvo installed as a way of combating the negative sentiment surrounding this development. I'm willing to bet that this is something that Sony will absolutely refuse to bend on. My guess is that Shift Up would likely eliminate it if it were up to them, because they're in the business of actually listening to gamers, which is why the owner of the company is now so damned wealthy, and his studio is expanding as they prepare for the sequel, and his game is rocking just about the top of the charts on Steam, despite Sony's idiocy being foisted upon them with the Denuvo and the region lock nonsense. Hopefully Shift Up can self-publish next time. Meanwhile, the dingleberries in the West are just trying not to go completely under. It's amusing to watch the contrast, but I'm gonna leave it there. What are your thoughts on the Stellar Blade situation? Will you be buying on PC, or has the Denuvo scenario scared you away? Drop your thoughts, along with some mockery of Western devs, into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.